Eagle leadership, rising above, leading beyond. Picture it, an eagle gliding through the open sky, wings stretched wide, eyes locked in, soaring effortlessly above the mountains and clouds. Have you ever stopped to watch an eagle in flight? There's something majestic, even spiritual about it. It doesn't flap in panic. It waits, watches, and catches the wind, rising higher, not through force, but through strategy. It soars when others scramble. It sees what others can't. You know, for centuries, the eagle has been a global symbol of power, freedom, and yes, leadership. But this symbol isn't just poetic. It's profoundly practical. Today, I want to talk about what it means to lead at a higher level, to think, see, and act like an eagle. Because in a world full of noise, chaos, and confusion, we need leaders who rise above and lead beyond. But what are the characteristics of an eagle? And what can they actually teach leaders? The first thing I think about when I think of eagles is their vision. Eagles can see clearly at a distance of 3 to 5 miles away. Think about it. 3 miles away, being able to see a rabbit. 5 miles away, being able to differentiate between targets. Seeing the details when other birds can't. That's more than 4+ football fields put end to end. No other bird can do that. No other animal can do that. Now imagine leading with that kind of vision, with that kind of clarity. And when you think of leadership vision, it's not just about seeing what is, it's about seeing what can be. Great leaders look past the now. They see opportunities where other people see obstacles. They see potential while others see problems. It's written in my favorite book, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." And let me add, so do organizations, marriages, and missions. So my question is, what are you focused on right now? Is it the crisis, or is it your calling? The second thing I think about on eagles is they can soar above the storms. While most birds hide in the storms, eagles ride them. When dark clouds roll in, the eagle doesn't flap harder, it flies higher. It finds the updraft and uses the turbulence to rise. What if your storm was actually your lift? The pressure you're facing, the resistance, the critics, the unexpected detours. They may not be here to crush you. They might be here to elevate you. Turbulence doesn't stop an eagle, it strengthens it. So don't curse the storm. Learn to ride it. The next characteristics of an eagle is focus and determination. When an eagle locks on its prey, it doesn't get distracted by the butterflies or the squirrels. It's all in. Focus is the difference between movement and momentum. Many leaders are busy, but they're not focused. I spent a lot of years, very busy. And I was tired, I was exhausted, and I would say I was very ineffective until I learned to focus. And once I learned that there were some things that I need to focus on and other things that I didn't, then it allowed me to put my energy, to put my skills, to put my talent where they needed to be. They allowed me then to delegate those tasks that anybody could do to other people so that I could then focus on those that only I could do. Most leaders chase 20 things at the same time and they catch none. But eagle leaders, they lock in on purpose, on priorities, on people. Focus is the bridge between goals and achievement. Distractions don't deserve your destiny, so lock in. Another characteristic is isolation. We often see isolation as lonely. We see it as being set apart. We see it as by ourselves on an island. But what if it's not? What if that isolation, when it's necessary, is there to build you, to grow you, to help you reset? You know, you never or you rarely see eagles flying in flocks. Why is that? Because sometimes greatness requires isolation for preparation. Eagles don't fear being alone. They use that time to renew their strength. And if you're going to lead at a high level, you're going to face moments of separation. If you're always in a crowd, you may lose your unique leadership voice, because leadership clarity often comes in the quiet. You don't see eagles flying with flocks of pigeons. You don't see them running with the turkeys. You see them flying high, high above the noise, the confusion. You see them separate, contemplating what their next move is. You see them focus on their goal, focus on their prey, focus on not just that next step, but that step a mile down the road, 2 miles down the road, 3 miles down the road, 5 miles down the road, that step that no one else can see. Another characteristic of eagles is that they mate for life. So what's that mean as a leader? That means loyalty and commitment. Eagles are fiercely loyal. They don't jump from mate to mate. They commit. They stay through the storms, through scarcity, through change. And leadership is no different. Loyalty matters. Loyalty to your values, loyalty to your vision, loyalty to your team. Commitment is what transforms promises into reality. Anyone can make a vow, but eagle leaders, they live it out. Another characteristic of the eagle is that they nurture their young. As a leader, what that means is that we build future leaders. One of the most beautiful things about leaders is how they train their young. They don't coddle them. They don't make excuses for them. They don't cover for them. They challenge them. They stir the nest. And when needed, they push them out and teach them to fly. True leaders don't create followers. They create more leaders. You don't need to surround yourself by sycophants. You don't need to surround yourself by yes men and yes women. You don't need to surround yourself with followers. As an eagle leader, you need to surround yourself with leaders, with people who are stronger than you, smarter than you, people who are more talented than you. And then you can focus on harnessing their talent, harnessing their skills, harnessing their ability, teaching them to operate as a unit, teaching them to see the vision, teaching them to see the path that's in front of them. Think about this. Your legacy, it won't be built on what you did alone, because on your own, you're not going to do a whole lot. But your legacy will be built on who you raised up. 25 years ago, I remember a young man that worked in a warehouse that I was managing. And I started some classes in that team, so they could learn how to be materials managers. They could learn how to be schedulers. They could learn how to think above and beyond someone who is just picking orders and packing boxes. And I volunteered my time, and I taught the classes over their lunch. They had homework, they had assignments, they had these tasks that were laid out for them, so they could learn the skills, learn the discipline, learn to think and see beyond what they had ever thought or seen before. And out of these 30 people, there were 2 that even at the time, they grabbed hold of it. They studied, they did their homework, they came in and they challenged. And if I made a mistake, they challenged me on those mistakes. And it was awesome. Out of the 30, 2 of them went on to become materials managers, to become operations leaders. One of them's a general manager at a company right now. They took the opportunity to learn and to grow and to feed that hunger that was that was within them. And I was allowed to help feed and help satiate that hunger. Those 2, I proudly look at them as part of my legacy. I would proudly have them on my team at any time. Now, they're both smarter than I am. They're both stronger than I am. They both have a lot more energy than I do. But they've turned out to be awesome, incredible, amazing leaders of people. So again, your legacy, it's not going to be built on what you did alone, but it will be built on those that you raised up. So who are you empowering to soar after you? Not every bird is an eagle, right? I said it earlier. Eagles don't flock with pigeons. Crows will peck, pigeons will gossip, and some birds will try to ground you. But the eagle, it soars above the noise. As an eagle leader, choose your flock wisely. You'll never be able to lead at a high level if you surround yourself with low-level mindset people. You, as a leader, you were made for altitude. Don't settle for the alleyways. Don't settle for the flock that can't rise above a certain level. Push yourself. Surround yourself with people who are pushing themselves. Surround yourself with people who are pushing you. If your flock is not demanding that you be a better leader, a stronger leader, and a greater visionary, then they're the wrong flock. If your flock is not driving for excellence and not driving to be amazing and world-class in everything they do, if they don't get frustrated over missed goals, if they don't get frustrated over failures, if they always look for the reason and not the solution, they're the wrong flock. Do not allow yourself to settle. If you're an eagle leader, you have to surround yourself with those who can rise to your altitude. Think about it. At the high altitudes, the air gets thinner. Not everyone can handle that. At altitude, you're going to lose the applause. You're going to be alone. You're often going to get misunderstood. But that's where eagles thrive. Leadership at altitude demands a strength that others will never understand. But remember, the thinner air also means clearer skies. Don't come down from the altitude you were created to run at, to fly at, just so that people will understand you. Stay up so you can see what others cannot see. Develop your ability to communicate what you're seeing. Develop your ability to effectively cast that vision so that your team, your flock, can see what you're seeing, can understand what you're understanding, will know the why behind what you're doing. If you don't do it, there will always be confusion. There will always be those who feel disengaged, disenfranchised, frustrated, who will question your ability to lead. But the effective eagle will rise above it all and clearly and simply call out what they're seeing. Let me ask you something. As a leader, are you leading like an eagle or are you flocking like a pigeon? Are you rising with vision and focus? Or are you reacting in fear and fatigue? Believe me, there's a lot of challenges in leadership. In fact, leadership is not fun. It's not fun at all because you have to deal with birds of all different levels. Some will hear, some will catch the vision, and some will rise with you. Some won't. Some lack the desire, they lack the ability, they lack the drive. Some want to, but will never do what they have to do to develop the skill sets. As a leader, you're never allowed to let them settle. You're never allowed to let them be comfortable. You have to push your team and yourself to those uncomfortable zones, to those areas, and to those places where change happens, where growth happens. Today is your call. It's your call to rise, to lead, to think like an eagle, to renew your commitment, to regain your clarity, to rediscover the skies you were made to soar in. You weren't built for the cage. You weren't designed for the ground. You were created to fly. Remember back when you first got into a leadership role, your first one, that excitement, that fear, that trepidation. What if I make a mistake? What if I screw up? What if I, what if I fail? All of those things happen. All those things did happen. And you know what? You're still where you are. You've still grown through it. You still learned from them. You still were able to rise up. And hopefully there came a day that you realized that it really wasn't about you at all, but it was about your team. It was about why that team was there. It was about the mission of that team. And your whole role then was keeping them focused on the mission, finding the obstacles and removing the obstacles. So what's it mean to be an eagle leader? What does it mean for you as a leader of people who is rising above and beyond? That means you have to have the vision to see what others can't see. That means you have to allow the storms to give you lift to rise above them. It means that you have the focus to lock on to what matters, ignoring all of the trivial stuff that's a distraction. And sometimes that's the people. Think about it. The greatest leaders in times of stress, they actually made their inner circle smaller. They got rid of all of the noise and the distractions so they could focus on what they needed to focus on. Focus on what mattered. You learn to use solitude as fuel. Remember, loyalty stays true. Legacy, it will build leaders. And never forget, the world doesn't need more pigeons, it needs more eagles. Leaders willing to soar into uncharted skies. So let me close with this story. A young man once climbed a mountain to get a better view of life. At the top, he saw an eagle, majestic, still, scanning the horizon. The man stood in awe. A guide nearby whispered, "That eagle didn't get there by chance. It learned to use the wind. It waited. It watched. And when the moment came, it rose." So can you. So must you. Because the world needs what only an eagle leader can bring. Your world needs what only you can bring. So remember, eagle leadership, that's your call. It's rising above, leading beyond. Soar wisely.